Good evening, and welcome into the special announcement concerning the tribute treasure hunt. The tribute treasure hunt has been solved. If you will look at this item right here, you will notice a branch of a tree, and you'll also notice that there is an element that was on the tribute right there. So that picture right there was on the prelude to a tribute announcement to the treasure hunt. The secret tribute has been solved. That is the croptolite, copperlite, whatever you want to call it, that John Michaels put in the ground. John Michaels died a week after I sent him a picture of that. He assumed that I had decoded his puzzle and figured out exactly what all the elements in the tribute picture meant. Actually, that was not the case. I think he thought that he was going to be exposed. I think he thought that he was going to be embarrassed, and he didn't want to bring embarrassment to somebody else. That's what I think. But the way I actually solved this puzzle was not the way he thought that I'd solved it. I had actually figured out where he hid it, and I backwards engineered where to dig. Because at the time, Google Earth had done a passover of the park, Wright Park, in Dodge City, Kansas. And it just so happened to have shown the dirt in the sand of the volleyball court in which this item was located. And I merely measured a distance from the back line of the volleyball court and created an angle to the goalpost. And then I plotted that in relationship to where the black dirt was on top of the sand. I then went out there with my team and we probed the area until we hit something solid. We mapped this out within 6 inches of where it was actually buried in the sand, about 17, 18 inches deep. We were within a 6-inch radius. We then dug our hole a little bit bigger and found the item. That's right. John said that he had replaced the proxy item. He had replaced the real item with a proxy item. And I found it. Now, I think what John believed that I had done is that I had figured out that his puzzle was about the Carr brothers, the two Carr brothers, Jonathan and Reginald Carr. And I think that he had figured out that the woman who was scantily clad was the only remaining survivor of what the Carr brothers did in Wichita, Kansas. And I think he believed that I may have solved the puzzle the way he created it. And that is the beret that's sitting on the back of the lady, the hatchet in which she was hit with, and the fact that she was found in the park next to some volleyball courts in Wichita. Now, I went to Dodge City because the shape of the table is the shape of Kansas, and the probe says D and C, not Cherokee Park. It says Dodge City. So I knew it was in Wright Park. I knew it was in Dodge City. And I had the visual evidence of where he hid it. And I went and dug. But the way he had actually hidden this puzzle was that he had created a puzzle based upon the event that had happened in Kansas. That was just as gruesome as the other event that had happened in Kansas. And that was the Brown versus the Board of Education. And the fact that that puzzle, which has not been solved, is actually next to Herman Park. That's right, Herman's Excavating Park. So what I've attached in this video is I've attached the videos that show the Dodge City recovery location and the full entire solve for the puzzle that gets you to Wright Park in Dodge City using the directions, and the directions that would allow you to use Image 8 and Puzzle 8 to solve the unsolved puzzle in Topeka, Kansas. The two treasure hunt for the secret locations. One, the 8th puzzle, and the 13th, the tribute. And it's unfortunate that John thought I'd solved this the way he had put the puzzle together, because he probably felt that I was going to come out and explain it that way. But that wasn't actually how I even solved that puzzle. I had solved it based upon just measuring where he had put it in the ground, because there was actual evidence that he had put this in the ground there. And I imagine shortly after the secret was hidden originally, that each of those puzzles could have been solved, because there would have been soil displacement. There would have been a way of seeing where they were hidden within that first year. But when his treasure hunt wasn't solved within a year, and it went on for several years, it became more difficult to solve the puzzles. And so that concludes my involvement in The Secret, A Treasure Hunt by Byron Price, and The Tribute by John Michaels. They never gave out the prize, never did anything, but I found it. All right. Well, Nomadic, good to see you. Luli, good to see you. Zozo, I'll be on tomorrow to talk about John Collins Black. Or I can come back on later tonight. But that concludes this and my involvement in The Secret Treasure Hunt by Byron Price. Nobody wanted to listen to any of the ideas that I put out. That group of people are so entrenched in their 12 treasures ideas that they're inflexible, unable to look at reality and come up with new solved locations. They're not going to find a thing. All right, folks. Good night and good luck. That's the end of me and my secret. The Secret.